Welcome back once more to Final Fantasy XIV and the Heavensward Machinist quests. Last time we saved Joy from an unwelcome marriage, but Lord Tedalgrinche seems to have other plans for us. Or more plans, or whatever. Greetings, Desiree. Is it not a wonderful day to be a machinist? Lord Vanivian de Halenat, you and the Skysteel Manufactory employees under your authority are hereby charged with formenting insurrection. Insurrection? My dear sir, I have fomented nothing of the sort. You stand accused of arming commoners with weapons of war and discharging said weapons within the locality of a broom. Ah, that little scene when we liberated Joy's father. Henceforth, the manufactory shall remain under Temple Knight surveillance. Should you fail to refute the accusations against you within the allotted time, punishment may include seizure of your workshop and imprisonment for all those deemed accomplices to the crime. The fury take that smirking fox. Tedalgrinche knew he would attempt the rescue. Once they set their sights on some of them, Temple Knight is like a bandersnatch with a bone. You'd best say farewell to your workshop. Then not take my manufactory. I will think of something. The Tedalgrinche bastard always 2 steps ahead. How could they have twisted my dad's rescue into an act of insurrection? Tis difficult to prove the truth of something one has not done. Mayhap the wiser course would be to provide evidence of Tedalgrinche's wrongdoing? He's a clever bastard, though, that one. You might try her, but I'd best not overstep my bounds. My contract's almost done in any case, and I'll be moving on, no matter what happens to the workshop. Our instructor here sure don't like to get involved. As for me, I see if I can find any strings connecting House Dzemael to the crimes. The Forgotten Knight should be a good place to start. I don't know what I'd do without the workshop. I see if I can get some folks talking. And that leaves you and me, Desiree. I believe I shall remain here in the manufactory to occupy the cases of the Temple Knights, whilst you aid Celestial with his inquiries. I appreciate you coming out, Desiree. It's a bit hard planning out in the workshop, what with the Temple Knights eyeballing our every move. We should be able to talk freely in here, though. Do you recall that bloke as was standing guard over Joy's dad? Aye. Fredo is his name. He took to marksmanship with a passion and hadn't missed a single day of training. Not until today. I got suspicious, of course, and decided to pay a visit to his home. Right away you could see the door had been kicked in, so I went inside and had me a proper look. That's when I found a ragged feather just lying there on the floor amidst the bits of broken furniture. If I wanted to keep me hands clean, then maybe I'd hire me some thugs from out of town to do for poor Fredo. Thugs that might otherwise make a living poaching with wild chocobos. I suggest you talk to Lord Stefanivian and take a trip out to Tailfeather. I'll keep poking around here in the city and see what else crawls out of his stonework. So, where are these temple knights that are supposed to keep watch over us? Huh, that may be our best lead. If we can track down the man who first employed Fredo, then we shall have a solid link to House Dzemael. Let us waste no time. Onward to the Divine Forelands and to Telfether. Good news, Desiree. I've spoken with some few of these hunter fellows, and they told me of a trio of ruffians that passed through here, dragging a man matching Fredo's description. I hope the fireworks outside are not hearable. We shall scour the forest to the south, if you will look to the north. Do not wait for us. Should you find these ruffians, then pray confront them, ere Fredo comes to further harm. No witnesses. Cut this one's throat as well. You find the seal of House Dzemael on the wretches. My thanks. I did not expect to see another dawn. Fredo! Not leaking blood, are you? Splendid, you gave us quite a scare. Forgive me, my lord. Those men, they dragged me from my home. Said they'd hurt me if I didn't swear false witness to the Temple Knights. You were forced to substantiate their accusations, then you merely need to withdraw your testimony to strengthen our position. It would be a boon if we were also able to provide some manner of physical evidence. A seal of House Dzemael. It would explain how the ruffians who snatched Fredo were able to enter the city without challenge. Aye, this shall do nicely. I'm truly sorry, my lord. All it took was one little beating for me to repay your kindness with betrayal. I'll not darken your doorstep again. What nonsense, you hardly had a choice in the matter. Continue your training at the manufactory, however, and you'll become more than a match for thugs such as these. Even without a noble's wealth or prestige, a common man can earn himself independence. You'll see that the Machinist's firearm is for more than just shooting dragons. It can help set you free. His lordship's vision will change Ishgard for the better. Come with us, Fredo. Become the spear and the shield that our city needs. I'd like that. I'd like to feel like I'm worth something. We all make mistakes, my dear fellow. The trick is to learn from them and rise stronger from every defeat. Come, let us return to the manufactory. The tables have turned, my friend. I've submitted the evidence you found to the Temple Knights. With the aid of Fredo's new testimony, we have enough proof to lodge a counter-accusation against Tedalgrinche. The wheels of justice have begun to turn, and we shall soon be free of these baseless suspicions. In the meantime, Rostenstahl requested that I instruct you to remember your bleeding practice drills. Charming fellow. And we learned Tactician, which is an AoE defense buff. Taking the fall. Desiree, I trust your training fares well. I've heard not of the fate of a manufactory and would welcome fair news from any quarter. Bad news, my lordship. We talked to a clerk who works at the congregation, and he says the accusation against the workshop ain't been lifted yet. What's worse, it seems they ain't inclined to pursue your case against Tedalgrinche neither. I do not understand. When I presented my evidence to the Temple Knights, the officer in charge seemed convinced of our innocence. My dear, naive Stephanivian, truth is dictated by the victor, the one most skilled in strategy, the one most adept at maneuvering, one such as me. How dare you show your face in my manufactory? Have you no shame at all? Shame? Why, you were the one who submitted a forgery of my house's seal in an attempt to deflect your obvious guilt. Upon review of the evidence, however, shall soon rule in my favor. But our sources were unimpeachable. Our innocence was all but proven. The twice altered testimony of a commoner is hardly unimpeachable, and you cannot deny claims of the ailing House Helena has been arming lowborn and inciting them to seize their independence. We have all heard the shots fired within city walls. You are twist and corrupt everything we worked for? As I said, such is the privilege of a victor. If you wish, I might even be willing to teach you how to bend the situation to your advantage. We shall do well enough on our own. Now exit my manufactory ere you find your shiny armor doused with machine oil. You would spurn my generous gift. Will you truly surrender your last chance to demonstrate House Helena's unswerving devotion to Ishkar's prosperity? There's a beast that has been harassing our supply trains of late. A menace that the Holy See greatly desires to see put down. Even cloistered here among your scrap-covered benches, you must have heard the tales of a fearsome Very Sullen. Very Sullen? The same dragon that the Order of a Knight's Dragoon has failed time and again to slay? He means to make a bloody show of you, boss. The Holy See has agreed to abolish your trial in exchange for the dragon's death. Pray send word when you are prepared to face Very Sullen. I shall organize for a priest to be present and provide you with suitable bait. My lordship, what do we do? I'll just confess it was me what was firing my weapon. You shouldn't have had any trouble laying the blame on a drunken outsider, especially on what's known for his vicious crimes. That ought to get you off of insurrection charges at least. No, you cannot do such a thing. I lived half my life in a ship's cabin, and a prison cell ain't much smaller. You can pay me for the time and the break after they let me out. See ya. I'll do this. I'll stop in, my lordship. By the few, that man's full of surprises. My prospectomator had naught to say on this eventuality. I cannot allow an instructor to sacrifice himself over the manufactory. We have no choice but to accept Tedalgrinche's impossible challenge. But I fear Rostenstahl will not be convinced unless we prove we have a chance of defeating Very Sullen. I do have a machinist marvel in mind that might just do the trick. Its implementation, however, will require a number of clear lightning crystals of a like found in the Sea of Clouds. 'Tis said that Vanu store such crystals for use in their tribal ceremonies. Pray, steal into Okwunduvana and lighten their baskets a touch. Surely we won't miss a handful or two. For the machinist marvel I have in mind, I shall have need of a clear lightning crystals found in the Sea of Clouds. Have 2 crystals. Ah yes, these are wonderful specimens. These crystals shall allow me to broaden the capabilities of your Ephero transformer via a more efficient process of energy conversion. I only hope it will be impressive enough to convince our instructor to abandon his foolish cause. The Vanivian further modifies your Ephero transformer. One of our machinists just returned to report on the situation with Rostenstahl. It would seem that Joy and some few colleagues have caught up to him in the pillars. Pray make your way to the scene and persuade the instructor to stand down. Joy? Desiree, you gotta stop him. Should have known you'd be along. Now back before I teach a student the meaning of point blank. I'm talking to you as well, Joy. Step aside. I would bloody well will not step aside. Desiree, take the fight out of him with a gauze round, if you please. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? Come on, then. We'll see who shoots who first. Bloody hell, that was fast. Your students ever strive to impress you, Rostenstahl. And 'tis thanks to Desiree's diligence that I was able to once more improve the tools of our trade. Even very Cellen cannot stand against the advances we've made in both technique and technology. We must have faith that our machinists will prevail. And though I appreciate your eagerness to occupy a cell on my behalf, such a sacrifice will not halt Tedalgrinche's crusade against the manufactory. Aye, you might be right about that. He's right about more than just that. You've got to stop underestimating what we're capable of. I keep forgetting what a stubborn lot I'm dealing with. You're the ones what are challenging the very stones what Ishgard was built on. Alright, I won't give myself up on one condition. All talk and contrast aside, you let me help in the fight against this very sullen nightmare. You've always sought to avoid such entanglements before. What has changed? It's a matter of penance. Back when I was still in charge of the Kudas, I lied to my subordinates. Instead of serving with philosophy, I had them lads working to further my own agenda. It all came apart, though, and I sent a glut of them off to die in a battle they had no business being in. I had my eyes on the Admiral's chassis, but what kind of Admiral would do that? It was reckless and selfish and got a lot of good people killed. After they stripped me of my rank, I drowned myself in drink and took up the life of a worst kind of pirate. That soldier I tried to visit in Camp Overlook, he was one of my lads what survived. I've been sending him every coin I can spare to pay back my bloody debt, but there ain't enough guilt in the world that could buy off my guilt. And now, years later, I see a chance to undo the wrong I've done. A bunch of my students plan to charge into a situation they got no business being in, and I plan to see them come out of it alive. Well then, consider yourself invited to the battle. Come, lead us in a pre-battle drill, Rostenstahl. Once more, your skill at firearms has rescued the manufactory from peril. Let's head back there, shall we? Ah, Desiree, there you are. I've sent word of our decision to Tedalgrinche. Even with the instructor's added firepower, however, I fear this challenge will test us to our very limits. Rosenstahl has vowed to stay with us, regardless of the term of his contract. until the sins of his past have been washed away in very Selen's blood. Let's then take advantage of every moment we have from now until the battle to own our skills to a razor's edge. Rise of the Machinists. And there's the second upgrade. A day has been chosen for a trial against Very Sullen. More than any that have come before, this battle shall be pivotal in deciding the future of the manufactory and machinistry both. Thus, as we march forth to meet our fate, I would hold a celebration in honor of all that we have accomplished. As has become customary, however, the principal players are nowhere to be found. Pray head out into the city and seek out Joy, Wostenstahl, Celestor, and my father. There's the Baron. I am invited to the manufactory. Well, well, how times have changed. Though I appreciate the gesture, I do not have a place at that table. I vowed to leave the Skysteel matters to Stephanivian alone, and so I shall. Tell my son that I shall pray for victory and the prosperous future that will grow from his success. I head there right now. But before we do this, I wanted to thank you again for helping me find my way. Just got myself back to where I belong, and I ain't about to give up the workshop a second time. A feast, is it? I can already feel me belly rumbling. As always, the chief works to make the manufactory a place where commoners like me feel welcome. He's done his best for us, and I mean to do me best for him, even if it means fighting that monster of a dragon. What, another bleeding celebration? Well, I guess we never did get to have that first one. That's why I knew the first time I met you you'd be a demon with a carbine. And bugger me if I went right. Now look at us, ready to stand side by side against one of the biggest bloody dragons to ever raid the supply train. I'll get everyone through this though, don't you worry. Been a good while since I shared a drink with mates, reminds me of old times. And mistakes I don't mean to repeat. That's why you should have a nibble. It's all so delicious. I might gobble the lot myself. His lordship says the feast is courtesy of a count. I ain't eaten like this since, well, ever, to be honest. If this is to be my last meal, then I'll die a happy man. Thank you for summoning everyone to the feast, and thank you for Father's message. Eat, drink, and be merry, my friends. Soon we shall introduce Very Sullen to the rage of the machinists, for the manufactory, and for Ishgard. For Ishgard! You see how their eyes shine with determination? You were a perfect choice to act as my ambassador. Ever has your presence been a boon to the manufactory. I often wonder what would have become of us had you not chosen to walk the path of the machinist. Though our next battle together will indeed be perilous, it shall also serve to demonstrate the pinnacle of our achievements. When Very Sullen lies defeated in the snow, we will have accomplished a deed that Tedalgrinche and the Holy See believe nigh impossible. When you are ready to make history, join us at the site of a trial in the Curve and Western Highlands. Off to the Highlands then. Western Highlands are terrible with the aetherytes. Just one down here in the bottom right corner. It would be great if we had a quest to at least re-establish the Camp Rivers meet aetherite that is frozen there in the old camp, but no. Perhaps re-establish a camp somehow. But no. Lord Tedalgrinche, my machinists are assembled. Do we now but await the arrival of a dreaded Verisalen? Excellent. I am accompanied by a priest of the Holy See who shall ensure that the trial proceeds in accordance with Ishgardian law. A wagon has also been provided to tempt the talents of your quarry. The observatorium has been tracking the creature's movements. According to my calculations, Verisalen and its entourage should fly over this pass within the hour. Should the machinists of the Skysteel Manufactory satisfy the conditions of this trial by combat, either through victory or valorous death, then shall your innocence be proven and your honor redeemed. Should you choose to flee, however, I trust I need not elaborate further. We shall oversee proceedings from on high, that I might judge thine actions evenly and with uninterrupted view. May justice be served. Your Reverence, pray do not avert your eyes should the scene become one of bloody carnage. We would not wish to deny these fine combatants a fair trial. My strategy for the battle is thus. Hit these beasts with everything we have. Deploy every turret and shoot every bullet. We shall bury Verisalen under a hail of metal and fire. Simple. I like it. For Manufactory! For Ishgard! I wonder who shall scream the loudest. Desiree, pray aid Celestor, his position is overrun. There's just too many of them. We're gonna need help over here. That wasn't a very sullen. Is it them? Bloody else, it's massive. And that's the thing you gotta kill? As Manufactory Chief, I have but one order for you all. Survive the battle. Dragon's not stupid. Machinist, protect the fallen. Why do this? Why protect me? Should you better allow the dragons to do their bloody work, you'll be free to pursue your agenda. Aye, and few could argue that you had earned it. After the grief you caused, I should take what is left of your corpse and string it up for target practice. But if my machines are truly to be the spear and shield of Ishgard, we must defend all her citizens with equal zeal. I fear that excess association with commoners has softened your brain. The oath you have sworn, however, is indeed a knightly one. If you're done yapping, Lord Tedalgrinche, we're a bit bloody busy here. Back my tongue again, it'll be the first thing I'll put a bullet through. You'd best heed our wordings, old fellow. Joy is not one to give voice to idle threats. Until this day, I have but observed your battles from afar. What a perfect opportunity for me to evaluate your skills from a more intimate perspective. By the furious, he's still speaking. Leave him, Joy, we have more pressing matters to attend to. Let us shoot a path through our foes arrayed before us. Let's do that. Celestor, see to Tedalgrinche. Desiree, we shall engage very sullen. I see the noble lord ain't killed. 'Tis not quite the scene I envisioned. Tedalgrinche overbright, yeah? Damn it, we can't hold them all. Will you prove me right, machinists? Where Desiree? Our foes become desert earth. We've done it! The damnable beast is dead! I thank you for saving my life. The accusation against you shall, of course, be withdrawn. As a further token of my gratitude, I would offer you a boon. Speak your wish, and I shall do all within my power to grant it. A boon? You think one little favor will wipe the ledger clean on your steaming shite? Fortunately, my heart has but one desire. I will have your oath that henceforth you shall no longer oppose the rights of the Machinists, and never again seek to interfere with the operation of a Skysteel Manufactory. Is that all? No chests of coin? No promises of power? The workings of your mind are truly an enigma to me. But you shall have my word on this, nevertheless. Indeed, we shall discover the best means by which your fine machinists might contribute to Ishgard's defenses. It's only from behind the sturdy front line that the machinist's full potential is realized. Together with your knights, however, we shall change the face of war. Of course, you cannot yet do without the masters of a battlefield. May we strike fear into the hearts of our enemies and ensure the continued prosperity of the Holy See. Fare you well, Lord Stephanivian. Well, that's that then. Thanks for letting me join you on this one, boss. I think I'm ready to move on now. Joy, your aim's as sharp as your harpy's tongue. Good work, lass. I nominate you to take over as Master of Marksmanship. Desiree, you're too bleeding quiet, but your weapon speaks loud enough, I suppose. Keep firing like you do, and I reckon new students will flock to the workshop to follow in your footsteps. Are you truly leaving us? I've never been the kind of bloke that sticks in one place for too long. You've treated me well at the workshop, better than I deserve, I reckon. But it's time I weighed anchor. I'll be seeing you then. Should your travels bring you back to Ishgard, know you always have a place at the manufactory, my friend. Shall we be on our way as well? What an extraordinary turn of events. With these troubles behind us, however, I fear the age of machinistry has finally arrived. And you, Desiree, have all but outgrown the manufactory. With Rostenstahl's departure, there are none who might compete with your skill at firearms. Pray take the lessons you've learned, and make known the machinist's trade in every corner of Eorzea. You are, of course, welcome to return to us whenever you desire. We shall be here, ever serving Ishgard as our deadliest spear and sturdiest shield. Before I forget, Rostenstahl asked that I encourage you to push the limits of your marksmanship. I believe his exact words were, so that you can blast through any pile of shite that might stand in your way. I'm getting better at the accent, don't you think? And an armor cover. Under the tutelage of Rostenstahl, you learn new marksmanship techniques. This concludes the Machinist quest for Heavensward. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must be in Stormblood and have the necessary level. I'm a machinist, not a man. Part 2. Okay, but that shall be it for today. Until next time, then. When we play more Final Fantasy XIV, I'm Ace, and don't get lost.